Artist Award. I'm an artist, you're an artist, we're all artists in different ways. So we're going to go through this now and you're going to learn exactly, well, this type of artist is one who works in the mediums using colours, paints and crayons rather than other things. But here are your requirements then, okay? So you're going to have to explain who an artist is. Don't worry, we'll look at it in the presentation. And looking at creation's greatest master artist. Who is the master artist of all time? 2, name and know the primary colours. There are 3. If we mix them, we get 6 colours. And then we're going to look at what the colours are called. Demonstrate how to sharpen a pencil, which is very, very important. And clean paintbrushes. And then there's some things you're going to have to go away and do for yourself. So you're going to make a design using 2 of the following: finger paints, coloured pencils, crayons or chalks, felt markers or pen, pencil or charcoal. And then you're going to learn a new art technique. It might be new to you, it may not. So it could be potato prints, stencils, paper-mache, or clay or salt dough. And then make 2 things: an invitation, a bookmark, a poster, or a greeting card. Okay, so there's lots for you to do when you go away. So, who or what is an artist? Anybody got any ideas of what an artist might be? Anyone?
Okay, so there's a question for us, guys. Anyone with an idea what an artist could be? Just send that out to us. Just get typing on the chat. We already have some guys who are confirming. When you said, I'm an artist, somebody else said, I am too.
Good.
We've got some artists responding here. And those of us who are joining on Facebook, please, we will like to hear from you as well. So Lucomona or Lucomano says an artist is someone who draws.
Okay.
We also have someone who paints and draws. An artist is a person who makes designs, a person who draws or does something creative, says Alex. And somebody thinks God is the greatest artist.
Okay, right. Shall we move on then? I think I've got another, my thing is playing up again. Right, so what does an artist do? I've got a picture there, and people think of artists as always, when you say art, they think of paintings like the Mona Lisa and people like Picasso. But is that just one definition of an artist? Should we take a look? Okay, so I looked at it and it says an artist is one who professes and practices creative art. Someone mentioned creative. Okay, so they might sing, they might play an instrument, they might sew, okay, they might design buildings. So artists is quite a big thing. It's not just about painting and drawing. And we're all artists in some way. We all are creative. So you could be working in glass, you could be designing buildings, working with colours and paints and pencils, chalks, or you could be working in wood or clay. So there are all different ways of being an artist. So we can be inspired those. So an artist can work with paint, clay, glass or sculpture, and an artist can design buildings too. So an architect is an artist because they're creative. So what materials do you have? Okay, what do you have that you can use to create a piece of art? What things have you got in your possession that you could use? It could be anything. Anyone want to say? Any ideas?
Any ideas, guys? Just type them down for punt. Oh, we've got a lot of ideas here.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant.
Coming through. Paint, we've got paper. We have pencils. We have even knitting.
Brilliant.
Colored pencils and crafting. Beads, drawing pad, crayons. We've got some artists here and they're giving us all these good answers.
That's brilliant. Now, one of the things I like to create art with are things that you find in nature. You can create pictures using sticks and stones, grasses, flower heads that have fallen off, don't pick them. So you can use things like bark, pine cones, okay? Because sometimes you might not have, or you might be out in the forest or going for a walk and you want to do something. So you can create art using found materials, okay? And you can take pictures of them and keep your art in picture form. Okay, so somebody said crayons. My thing is playing up again. Okay, clay. I like to use clay. Coloured pencils, chalks and pastels, different types of paint. There's oil paint, pastels paint, watercolour paints. Okay, so there are all different forms that you could use if you have them. Okay, now somebody mentioned, we said about creation's master artist and what he has created. So come on, tell me, who is that master artist, please? Who is it?
Well, we're listening out to you guys.
Is it Picasso?
I think we just have one answer that's coming through here.
Okay.
And it's God.
Absolutely. God is the most fantastic and the best ever master artist, because man only copies what he sees in God's creation. So all the colours that man uses are from the earth. Now, when you think about indigenous peoples, they use things like ochre, which comes from the earth. They use colours from leaves. You can use leaves and flowers. Don't pick them, but if they're fallen off, you can use those to make colours. Okay, there was a lovely artist on the telly talking about how they use their natural things that they find. You can use onion skin, vegetables. Okay, they're all good and they're created by the master artist. And he created, as you should know, in Genesis. So what did he create for us? Okay, the whole universe, anything that's out there that man looks at is from the master creator. The sky, the beautiful blues in the sky and the seas, the mountains, all those flowers, all the color. If you try to say all of those colors, I think it would be too much. The oceans, all the animals, and of course ourselves, and we're all different colors and different sizes. Okay, God is that wonderful master creator, and anything we do is inspired by him. I like to use God's creation for I do watercolor arts, and I like to use that. So in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, which is Genesis 1:1. What else did he create, guys? Can you tell me? And what day, maybe? Does anyone know?
Oh, I know a story of someone who knows all the days of creation.
Okay.
Pastor Dan, but hey, we will not be asking him on this occasion. So, boys and girls, do you want to tell us what else did God create?
And if they know what day he created it.
Okay, not just what he made or created, but what day did God create the different things? So please share that with us. And we will read out the ones that are telling us what he made and which day he made it on. And Pastor Dan, who knows that so well, will be our main marker for this. Okay, so animals, day 3. Fourth day, the stars, the moon, and the sun. And someone says, animals, it's day 5.
Aha.
So we are having all those different views. And man was made on the 6th day, says Matthews.
Okay.
So we've got some good Bible students here, Pam.
Okay, so if you're not sure, guys, I want you to go and check it out later. You can look for yourselves, okay? Because I might tell you something that's not quite right, or someone else might not be sure. So go check it out for yourself, okay? So he had the sky and the seas. He separated the land and the seas. He made the flowers and the trees. the sun and the moon, then all the animals in the sea and the birds of the air, and then the animals and man. Okay, man came last in creation. He was created after all those wonderful and diverse animals that you see everywhere, all those wonderful fish under the sea. But we were created last because he wanted to give us something wonderful to look at. He created all those beautiful and wonderful things for us to see. He is the all-time master creator. Well done, people. Okay, name and know the primary colors. Oh, you guys should know this if you're at school. Okay, it's one of the things you do in art. So name those primary colors, please.
Okay, guys, so let's show Auntie all the colors, the primary colors that we know. And let's give her all of them. Okay, so we have red, yellow, blue. We have blue, green, yellow. We have red, green, blue. Well, I think, yeah, if you guys can give us the combination of the primary colors, the three of them, that would help.
Yep. There are three primary colors. They're the colors that make all the other colors. They can't be made. They are the three primary. Primary means the first, and then secondary means those that come from that. I want the primary colors.
I think blue, red, yellow keeps coming up. These guys.
Okay. Shall we take a look then? I have a slide. Okay, with all the colors on it. Some of them you've named, but they are red, blue, and yellow. Okay.
Oh, well done. Yep. So Belle and Jeremiah and Lucomano, you guys, and oh, quite a number of guys got this correct. So thank you guys for putting in your answers.
Brilliant, well done. Okay, so let's move on. So what happens if we mix these colors? Some people came up with colors, but they were what we call secondary colors. Anybody know the secondary colors, the ones that we get if we mix those colors?
Okay, guys. Oh, we're already getting the answers. These guys are, I think we have so many artists here.
Brilliant.
Yeah. We've got green, we have orange, purple.
Okay.
We also have, okay, so let me check this one again. Green, think we've, those are the main ones. Pink, pink has also been mentioned. Gray.
Right.
Okay, brown.
So
those are the secondary colors that we're getting from these guys.
Okay, shall we take a look then on my next slide? So here you can see on my chart how the colors are mixed. So any of you that know anything about pie charts and charts, if you're very clever, will know that we overlap things. Okay, so I've got some colors here. So if I mix red and something else, I get red and yellow, I get orange. Okay, if I want to make purple, I need to use blue and red. If I want to make green, I start with yellow and I put in some blue. Okay, so our primary colors are the ones on the left hand side and our secondary colors are the ones on the right hand side. So now we have primary and secondary colors, and there they are in a pattern. So you could use those colors and produce a pattern. Anything that comes after the primary and secondary are normally termed as tertiary colors. So here we go, it's my pattern using them. So we're going to move on a bit now. I want you to think about, we have to use certain things to produce our art sometimes. And one of the things we might use is a pencil for sketching. Do any of you like to do sketching? Do you like to just draw with a pencil or doodle anywhere? Anyone like just drawing with pencils?
Hey guys, anyone love drawing with pencils? Anyone like to sketch? You've got that sketch pad with you? Let us know. Type it in so that we can know. And we've got Eudora. I hope I pronounced that right. Oh, she loves that. And Chris. We've got Luke. All these guys like sketching. And Alex uses an iPad for drawing, so not just a scratch pad. We've got Casey saying yes, me too. I love that. And we've got some guys from Facebook who are telling us the following. So my Facebook helper here, Mr. Nyane, you've got some names of guys who likes sketching.
Yes, we have Teresa, we have Muya, and we have Popina, and we also have Coletta.
And all those guys like using their sketch pad.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, that's really
Thank
good.
you,
Now, on our number 3, it says, how do you sharpen a pencil? And what is a pencil sharpener? How do we use it? So I'm going to move on. Okay, so a pencil sharpener is a sharp blade that shaves off the wood. Okay, that's a technical bit. I like the bit that I put on there. I found out that the very first pencil sharpener was patented by a Frenchman named Bernard Lassimon in 1828. So the pencil sharpener has been around a long time. Before that, people would use a sharp knife, which isn't all safe. I don't want you using a sharp knife to sharpen your pencils. That's not good. Okay, so how do we? There's a little film here now. So it's just a little thing for you just to watch, to break it up. Here we go. Let's see if it works. It's decided not to.
How do pencil sharpeners sharpen pencil? My mother loves flowers. So, I am going to draw some flowers. Then, I will color them yellow, as that's my mother's favorite color. I have drawn a teddy bear and balloons on my card. Oh, that's so cute! I hope my mother likes this card. Oh no! My yellow color pencil is broken. Spider, just sharpen your pencil. Why are you making such a big fuss? I can't find my pencil sharpener. Here, take mine. Thank you, Queen Bee. I like my pencil pointy and sharp.
Spider, how is your card coming along?
Very well, Professor. But, Professor, I would like to know how sharpeners sharpen pencils.
Sharpeners have a metal blade tilted at an angle. This blade is very sharp, so when you place the pencil inside the hole, the sharp blade shaves the wood and the pencil's graphite. And after you have finished sharpening, you have a nice pointy pencil to use.
Just like my yellow color pencil here.
Yes? Now both of you finish your cards. I'm sure your mothers will be pleased to receive them.
Okay, guys. So that was my, whoops, let's get rid of that. Let's go away. Okay, so that's how you sharpen your pencil. But what about paintbrushes? I was a teacher in school and I watched children sometimes trying to clean their paintbrushes. And do you know what they did? They got their paintbrush and jam it down in a jar of water. As an artist, that is not very good. How do you think we should wash our paintbrushes to keep them in good condition? Any ideas?
Any ideas, guys? How do we wash our paint brushes so that they are in good condition? We are going to go with the guys on here and those on Facebook. So, Nyane, do you have anything? Just let us know. Give us a shout. when you have anything. But so far, here on Zoom, it's scrub them with water. So
Okay.
in water and dry. And those are the popular ones, Pam.
Okay, so that's good. We do need water, but on the left-hand side, we have a little poster, okay? And at school, I was very keen on trying to make sure my brushes were kept well. So to save the brush, they'll thank you later, rinse all the paint out in some clean water, a little bit of soap on your hand, okay? Gently, gently move the brush around and then rinse it again. And when it's done, just restyle the bristles to keep them nice as they should be, because if you don't look after your paintbrush, you can't be a good artist. In the same way, if you don't look after your pencil and keep it sharp, it's going to be very difficult for your sketching. And then keep it upright in a pot. Oh, where's my pot? There we go. Here's my pot that I keep my bits in. Upright in the pot. So we don't leave the brushes down in the pot because that would damage the bristles. Okay, so up like that in my pot with my other bits and pieces. And that's how I keep my paintbrush ready for next time. Okay, guys, so we've sharpened our pencil, we've washed our brushes, and now they're standing upright in our pot, ready for the next time that we need to use it. Always look after your art materials if you want to be a good artist. Okay, in the same way that God looked after his creation so that we would have something beautiful to look at. Well done, guys, thank you. Okay, so we're on to number 4 now, if you're following along with your workbook. Okay, this is the bit where you go away and you do something, okay? Because we've done a lot of talking about bits. So it says, make a design using 2 of the following. Finger painting. I love finger painting. I think my grandchildren do too. You can use coloured pencils, crayons or chalks, felt markers or pen, pencil, or even charcoal. I quite like using charcoal. So this is a practical bit that you're going to go and do. And if you look at your booklet, okay, I've asked you when you do it to keep it in the back of your folder so it's there as a record, or take a photograph of it and put that in your folder so that the person who says, have you done what you're supposed to, can see that you have. So what can we do? Okay, so finger paints. Finger painting, you could use an ink pad, is another clean way of doing it. So you have a sponge with some colour on and you dip your finger on. I like using watercolour pencils. Outliners are brilliant. Chalk is wonderful on paper if you've got a really rough paper. Okay, so what sort of designs could you do? I like doing crazy designs. So you could take your pencil and swizzle it around on your paper. Okay, you don't have to have wonderful paper. I sometimes use the brown paper that comes in packaging. I save that and I do things on that, which is quite interesting. You could use kitchen paper. If you want to use felt pen, if it's wet, it spreads out on the kitchen paper and it makes wonderful designs. Okay, so there are lots of ways of doing it. Handprints are good fun, even footprints on paper. So think about what sort of design and what materials have you got that you could use to produce that design. Okay, so one of them, if you look at the triangles, is charcoal or pencil. So you don't need colour. You can use the charcoal and the pencil to create different shades. Okay, finger painting is fun. You can draw your shape first and then dot it with your finger, or just use your finger. Okay, so all sorts of ways. I like the one in the middle, the balloon. You can see what they've done to create the balloon. They've actually put down with their finger what colours they used, and then you've got that as an extra bit so you know what colours you've used. Or crazy designs, psychedelic ones that are just circles within circles. Okay, so think about a design. It can be random, it could be a pattern, it could be flowers, anything you want it to be, but try and make it nice and vibrant. Use those things. Okay, so I've popped in, I talked about fingerprinting. And I've got a little logo there of some fingerprint birds. They're quite fun to do because you just dip your finger in the paint, put it on the paper, then you use a pen just to create the beaks. So it's there for you. So you need some paper, an ink pad, or put some paint onto a sponge. I quite often do that because it keeps it from getting too messy. That means your finger can just dip on it, okay? Or ink pads. But remember, between colours, clean that finger, okay? Otherwise you'll get dirty colours. So there's something you can do. That would make a nice card for someone, okay? So it's quite easy, as I've said. Make a simple picture to follow. So here's some instructions. So number 1, you put your finger on. Number 2, you start drawing. And number 3, you have a little birdie picture. And that could be made into a greetings card. Okay, but remember, wipe your finger between the different colours. Otherwise, you'll have some very messy colours unless you want to make your primary colours into your secondary colours.
I love the flying bird, bro. I love the flying bird.
He's brilliant. Oh, they could be made into people. You could give them arms and legs and make little fingerprint people. Okay, be creative, because art is all about being creative, thinking and changing things. As you go along, you might decide you want to do something different. You could make maybe put them around and make flower petals. Okay, guys, so inspiration. Who fancies doing finger painting? Anyone up for finger painting?
Anybody love finger painting, guys? Let us know. And just to remind you as well, as you are giving us your answers on finger painting, we've got the work sheet, so please do access it. We've put on the chat the link that you need, so just click on that in order to access the worksheet for this artist award. Okay, so now back to you. We've got lots of guys who are replying here.
Brilliant.
And telling us, hey, the answer is me, and yes, yes.
It's good fun. Oh, if you see my camera, this is a picture that one of my grandchildren did.
Oh, I think because of your background, at least I can't see it. So maybe you want to put it in front of you and we see a bit of you, then we can see it maybe. Oh yeah, just lift it up a little more. Oh, now we can see it.
Okay, so that's just using splodges of colour on their finger on the paper, and I keep it on my wall in front of my desk because it's a beautiful piece of colourful art. Okay, right then guys, should we move on? What else have we got? Okay, so let's move on. Number 5, okay, thinking about your design, you could use your design to put into number 5. So learn an art technique and demonstrate 2 of the following. Okay, potato prints, which I quite like, stencils, papier-mache. I've put that spelling in because it's actually French, papier-mache, so you're doing something French, something international, or clay or salt dough. Now I'm going to, in the next set of slides, you're going to see, I'm going to show you and give you the recipes to do those things. Okay, so have any of you actually done any of these activities before? Have any of you done potato prints or stencils or paper-mache, clay or salt dough?
Anybody done this, guys? Well, Martin says definitely not me, but Alex has, and Casey. Hansel has. Oh, Casey says no, sorry.
Okay.
Casey. And yeah, we are looking out. Good, some guys online. Nyane, what are they saying? Who's telling us what? Who's done potato prints or stencils or paper-mache?
It's about the finger painting.
Oh, okay. Something from finger painting. Talk to me.
So someone called Lydia said me. Someone called Koleka said me as well.
Oh.
And someone called Sitogozile said, I am tidy and do not like to paint on my fingers that much.
Oh, did you hear that, Pam?
Oh dear, that's no good. I'm afraid I like to get messy. When I was at college doing my training, we had one person on the training who wanted to work with children, but she didn't like to get her hands messy.
Oh, yeah, that makes it very hard trying to be an artist and not being messy, though.
I can get very messy. Even when I'm sewing, I end up with scraps of material everywhere. Okay, guys, so if you haven't done those, some of them you can do with things that are around the kitchen, things that you will have in your cupboard. So don't worry about it. You don't have to buy anything special. It will be there in your cupboard. So let's have a look. Potato printing is great fun. So first of all, you will need a potato. Okay, you need a fair sized potato, not an itchy titchy one. Okay, you need to cut your potato in half, and then you've got to make a design into your potato. Now, you might need an adult to cut one in for you, or you could use a pastry cutter. Okay, but what you need to do is your motif needs to be raised. So put your potato cutter on and ask your adult if they can help you cut around it, okay? I don't want anybody using sharp knives from the kitchen. That's not allowed. Ask your adult to help you. And it's always fun using an adult anyway, because sometimes they don't like getting messy, so you make them get messy, okay? So that makes our print, and then when it's ready, you can put your design into your paint and onto your paper, and you can use any shape you want, and it's great fun. So that was our potato printing. So that's something we got around the house. Okay, here's a girl using her potato printing. And here's the lovely picture that you could make using different shapes. It doesn't have to be fancy. Art is all about how you want to do things. So art is your art, nobody else's. It's your creation, in the same way that God created what he wanted to create when he wanted to create it. Okay, so that's our potato printing. So you could use that to make one of the things that you need to make later on. Okay, so that's the technique, and it's things you have in the kitchen. Okay, papier-mache is the proper way to say it, but a lot of people say paper-mache. Anybody know what paper-mache is? What's paper-mache?
Paper-mache. Talk to us, guys. Talk to us. What is paper-mache? Let's tell Pam what paper-mache is all about. So guys on Facebook, we would love to hear from you. And those of you who are here on Zoom, tell us about paper-mache. And by the way, that is not roast potato we had earlier on.
No, don't use a roast potato because it will be too messy.
Okay, so when you make a model with paper and glue, and Samuel says, not quite sure.
Okay.
But yeah, we've got Julieta telling us that when you make a model with paper and glue, you are using paper-mache.
Okay.
Do we have anything from Facebook?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay.
Okay, I think I might have to move on a little bit, but you can still send your responses. We still want to hear from you. So paper-mache, again, you can use things that are around in your kitchen. So you'll need for this activity. Here we go. You can use egg cartons, because they're quite soft, torn up newspaper, magazine paper, torn up toilet rolls even, paper cardboard rolls, anything that's papery, okay, because they're all made from the same thing. So you grab yourself a small bowl. You need to have a plastic one is best, because we don't want it sticking to our bowl. Okay, so any plastic bowl that you've got that you can use. So then you need to tear your newspaper. I love tearing newspaper. I quite like tearing paper. It's got a good sound to it. I've got a piece of paper here. Can I tear this piece of paper? Oh, lovely sound. Oh, look at that. Oh, fun. Okay, It's the only time you're allowed to tear up paper. So you can use any of those things. So once you've got your paper strips, you can make a mix of paper-mache paste. 1 part flour, 1 part water. So if you're using a measuring cup, if I was using my cup, so she's looking for her cup again. If I was using my pot, okay, I'd use 1 pot of flour, 1 pot of water, okay? That's what 1 to 1 means. It's a ratio if you know your maths. Okay, so you mix it all up, make a lovely paste, make sure it's all nice and smooth as it can be. Some people put it in their food blenders. I wouldn't recommend that. Your mum might not like it. But you can mash it all up. That's why it's called paper mache. I like to think of it as mashing paper. Okay, so that's your basic thing. Then what you're going to do is get your bowl, dip your paper in your paste, or take it out, and then you put it over the top of the bowl. Give it a good smush down, smooth it all over. Get at least 3 layers, I like to say, because we don't want it to break easily. So 3 layers over the bowl if you can, smooth it down, and then you need to leave it to dry. Okay, now it says overnight, but if you've been over enthusiastic with the goop or the glue, it might need a bit longer. Once it's dry and crisp, okay, take it off the bowl. So you've got your paper mache bowl now. And then you can think about using those things that we talked about earlier to decorate your bowl, okay? And once it's done, you can use some PVA to varnish it if you want to, which will make it last longer, okay? So that's paper mache. Or you might want to make, sorry, I've moved on with my slide. You might want to make it into an animal. I once used a balloon, so you could put it over the top of the balloon, okay? And when it's dry, leave a little hole and then you pop the balloon and you can make an animal. I made a pig, I think, when I was at college. So you can use it to make all sorts of things. So that's good fun, but it is a little bit messy. So make sure your adult says that you can do it. Okay, guys. So salt dough. Does anybody know what salt dough is? Okay, the Americans call it bread dough, but we call it salt dough. Any ideas? Anybody there?
Okay, so there you go, salt dough. We actually eventually got some guys telling us about paper mache on Facebook.
Okay.
And 2 of them Nyana is just going to tell us, or there's more than that.
Yeah, there's
Talk to
3
us.
now. There's 3 now. So Nicola Muti said paper and water and water. Kemento said making stuff from paper. And then Sitogozile said it's like a glue and is used to make sculptures, and you can paint over it when it's dry.
Just like we heard. So very good, guys. Thank you for
Brilliant, everyone.
And here we've got it is dough made of salt.
Uh-huh.
And dough made with some salt. And it's when you make a picture with dough and let it dry with a stamp, says Julieta.
Okay.
It says get dough and add salt to make salt dough.
Okay, so I'm going to move on a bit now because otherwise we are not going to finish. Okay, salt dough again is made with things you have around the kitchen. Flour, now plain flour is best, and salt, of course, because it's salt dough, and water. Okay, so it's simple things to do, and you can make all sorts of wonderful things. You've got to be very creative as an artist. Okay, so to make your salt dough, talking about ratios again, 2 cups of plain flour, a cup of table salt. Okay, don't use the expensive stuff, that'll be too much. Just some plain old table salt, and up to a cup of water. Okay, now it doesn't matter what cup you're using, as long as you use the same cup for the same quantities. You can also add food colouring to your salt dough if you want to dye it before it dries. Okay, so to make your salt dough, measure your ingredients, Put the salt and flour into a bowl. Stir them together so that they're well mixed. Then measure your water. Add the water to your flour and salt gradually, okay? Because we don't want it to be a real sloshy mess. It's got to be like bread dough when you're making bread or when you're making pastry, okay? It's got to be that consistency. So once it's all combined, you put it on a floured surface because we don't want it sticking to Mum's worktop. She might get cross. And turn it onto a floured surface. Knead the dough until it's smooth. So you could put the food colouring in at this point. You could split the dough up so you've got several different colours if you want to do it that way. You can model your dough or roll it out like pastry and use cutters. There are different ways you can use it. Be creative. So when you've done your salt dough, ask your adult to put it in the oven for you. It will dry out on a hot sunny day in the summer if it's not too thick, but the best way to do it is to put it in the oven, okay? And put it on some grease-proof paper so it doesn't spoil your mum's best pans. But it needs to be baked for at least 12 hours, which is overnight. So your adult has to agree to that, okay? And then when it's done, your adult can take it out. It's a bit like making cookies. You have to leave it to cool down. When they're cool, they're ready to paint. Okay, so you can use shape cutters or you could shape it yourself. You can print, someone's printed in leaves on this one. I quite like that. I love using natural objects for things. Okay, roll it out and use cutters. You can make, you could add spices to it, something to make it smell. Someone's added cinnamon here, just a little bit. So when it's hanging in the room, like these are, leaves on the tree, we get a nice smell from them too, or for that time of year that I'm not going to mention. You can plait your dough, okay, if you've ever seen plaited loaves. So you've got your 3 strands, you have to press them together and you do your plaiting. Or you can mould it into whatever you like, really. Once it's dry, it's got to be nice and hard. You can paint it using all those techniques that you've learnt about. And it can be varnished if you want to. So there's different ways you can use it. Okay, we're going to move on now because all those things, if you download the booklet, they're in the booklet. It's all in there for you. You don't have to think about it. So the other thing you need to do is make 2 of the following. You've got to make an invitation, a bookmark, a greeting card, a poster. So 2 of those things. So to make a bookmark, again, you can use things that you have around the house. Cardboard from a cereal packet. You can decorate it with your paints or crayons or whatever materials you're going to use. You don't have to use anything expensive. Use what you have around the house, okay? We've got our potato printing there that you could use. So a bookmark, and there's a finished bookmark for you. It can be what shape or size you want to do it. An invitation card, okay? It doesn't have to be for something that you've planned. It's just an exercise to make an invitation card. Or you might want to invite your mum to come and have tea with you in the sitting room. Or you might invite your friend to join you on Zoom, okay? Anything you can think of, but remember, you've got to say who it's from, when it is, okay, what the event is. So use all those things. Now here we've got our fingerprinting. Fingerprinting is quite simple. Okay, to make a greeting card, you can use plain paper and then stick it onto a cereal box if you want to make your card. Okay, so bookmarks, invitation cards, greeting cards, or posters. Okay, so use all those things to make one of those things. You need to design it first on your booklet. I've said there's a space there to make your design, so use that. So we're coming to the end now. So today you should have learned about primary and secondary colours, how we make the colours using the 3 primary colours, what an artist is, who the master artist is and what he created, how to look after your pencil and paintbrushes, some ways of using different materials to create works of art, and you will need to now, not straight away, but as soon as possible, maybe tomorrow, because you need to gather your bits and pieces and plan what you're going to do. you're going to create your own art and share it with others by making an invitation book, bookmark, poster or greeting card. And you're going to learn a new art technique that you haven't done. Have a go if you can. Ask your adult to help you. So it could be potato printing, paper-mache, salt dough, or even clay if you've got some air hardening clay. Okay, so think about what you'd like to do out of those things and go and do it. Now, I found some fun places here. My favorite one is the Tate Kids Gallery. It's interactive, okay, which is that one on the top one. Kids, games, quizzes, Tate Paint. You can go there, you can create a piece of art and you can submit it to their gallery. So that's good fun. But these will be on your workbook as well for you to go to. So have a look at them. But lastly, please remember, we want to see your artwork. We love looking at what you've done. Send your pictures to Diane at adventist.uk. So thank you very much. You've been very